large disparity between what these men intended to do and what they actually accomplished. When we say about 5% achieve success, we have to define success. And here's the definition. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy
fireworks.
Ideal. If a man is working toward a predetermined goal and knows where he's going, that man is a success. If he's not doing that, he's a failure. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
A biscuit, a muffin.
May, the distinguished psychiatrist, wrote a wonderful book called Man's Search for Himself. And in this book he says, the opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice, it is... And there you have the trouble today. It's conformity. People acting like everyone else, without knowing why, without knowing...
So like the things that I
now think of it.
Talk about,
you
say,
right now, over like 14 million people, 65 years of age and older.
Look, like this right here is something that's worth listening to over the years, and for me to find it, and so these are things, every single thing that we do as people, every single thing that we do as individuals,
we haven't learned how to become financially independent.
We pass the message on
that has ever been
in different ways.
We conform. And the trouble is that we're acting like the wrong percentage group.
Sometimes we don't even accept that we get the message, but we receive the message in a different way.
Well, they don't know really. These people believe that their lives are shaped by circumstances, by things that happen to them, by exterior forces. They're outer-directed people. A survey was made one time that covered a lot of men, working men, and these men were asked this question: why do you work? Why do you get up in the morning? 19 out of 20 had no idea. If you ask them, they'll say,
but
everyone goes to work in the morning. And that's the reason they do it, because everyone else is doing it.
So,
now let's get back to our
see, it's a searching question. Why do you go to work in the morning? It's a searching question. It's not a question sometimes that you can just answer right that very minute. But what lingers in the mind that even pushes you forward is knowing that you can, not only that it's to achieve your goal or your success, but it's what resonate and manifest and leaves a place in you is, I can someday achieve life, the gift of life, that goal, that dream, that dream. You can achieve that dream one day. You can achieve that. So that lingers back in the mind, because what you want to be, like you said just now, when you ask the question, who do you want to be?
No idea. If you ask them, they'll say, everyone goes to work in the morning.
It's a searching question. It's a searching question. You have no idea, not yet. But
psychiatrist wrote a wonderful book called Man's Search.
And everyone knows what they have. Every single person knows what they have. And sometimes to unclutter that, you have to get yourself in a certain place to uncover that. You have to get your mind at a certain spot for you to uncover that. So when I refer back to say, okay, when you ask what you want to be and you're like, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that, you say these because everyone in the classroom is a part of your community. Everyone in your classroom is your community. The kid next door, because when the bus goes around and pick up each and every kid in the community, from next door here, that's the plumber guy. From the other door down there, that's the teacher. From the next door down there, that's the daycare worker. From the next door down there, so everyone in the classroom right then at that very minute is the community. So the bus driver picks up the community, take to the school, and when you get asked the question, what you want to be in that mess, you know to yourself, okay, as a kid, okay, Mr. Plumber lives down there, Mr. Teacher lives down there, the principal lives there, the bank lives down there, and all these, you already know that in your mind as a kid. So now what you want to do is you want to answer the question. You try to answer the question. You trying to answer the question. You trying to answer the question based on. You're trying to answer the question based on your community. You're trying to answer that question, not literally for yourself, You're not really answering that question for yourself. You're answering for the community. You're answering for what the neighborhood, that what you could be in that neighborhood. But it changes after you reach a certain age, because that answer wasn't of a foundational answer in your mind, because 15 years later you'll be migrating to a different city, to a different town, to a different area, a different part of the state, or a different part of the world. So in the midst of that, so when I refer to when you were asked that question, it's a searching question, but you give an answer based on the environment. You give an answer based on what you think you should give back to the community, because, and your neighborhood, because as a kid you also feeling that they're nurturing you and they're taking care of you. So you want to say something that would enlighten and put you possible apart from the other kids, but it's a searching question. It's not a question that, and it's not a question that you will live on and live up to. It's just a searching question. You just give back at that time, in that moment, because 20 years later you're down the road, 30 years later you're in a new country, a new state, or travel out to really find who that person, who you are, who that person is, and discovering the answer that you gave back, thinking back on it, it also makes you wonder to yourself, possible, if is this real, or why did I give that answer back? But when to come to think of it, why you gave that answer back is because it's already what you want to support your community at the time. You wanted to, you answer based on your community, you're based on your neighborhood, you're based on what you think that you wanted to hear, they wanted to hear, and what you think you should say. Now, what about the kids that say, I don't know? In the midst of that, would you look and say, okay, there's something wrong if you don't know what you want to be? It's a searching question. You ask a question, you got to search for the answer. You ask for something, you got to look for it. So, anyway, throw that over the bank, huh? Anyway, no, keep it going. I'll be good to that. It's a searching question. So, like, we all go through this stage, and we all go share this journey, and it's amazing that we can discover this. I can say this, and it may not make sense to you at this time, but it might make some sense to someone else, which is important, because, like I said, all the motivational speaker guys and all the people, not just motivate, all the people who, so for instance, a teacher, she does good at this school, and probably she's not recognized as the best teacher here, but then she can go somewhere else and she can be recognized as an outstanding teacher, such as principal, such as everybody in the different work sector. So does this make sense to you? Yes, to me, I would hope so. I should, because it's a searching question. You're not going to know who you really want to be at a certain age sometimes, but it's a question that can exercise your mind too. It's an exercise question. And even though it's a searching question, it can be an exercise question that can really, you can mind exercising, exercise your mind, such as to think about this point, think about who you really want to be, think about who you really want to become, and not necessarily the answer that I'm going to give back is yet a good answer or a bad answer, but I might give you an answer based on just the community, based on my neighborhood, based on what other kids in the neighborhood possibly want to see, what would be good for the neighborhood, based on what they think that they would like to be to represent their neighborhood. And that's why some of the kids that's there that don't think about even leaving their neighborhood, they're staying there and being an anchor, a pillar, being that spur, or being that business place in their neighborhood, because not everyone's going to leave the neighborhood. Everyone, some is going to find their business there, some's going to find their wife there, some is going to find their wealth there, some's going to find different entity of reaching their and achieving their goal there. So for it's a searching question, yes, but also a question that possible pushes your mind to think about who you want to become, who you will become, but not necessarily have the complete answer in that very minute, in that very instant. And the answer that you might get may not be right, may not be what you want to hear, but but we do for sure give an answer in that minute, I would think, in regards to the community, in regards to your neighborhood, and in that minute, because everyone sometimes go a certain place to find who they are and want to become, and sometimes it's the changing and the interaction with different people changing. When they say you need to change the people you hang out with, or sometimes change, communicate with different more educated or more sophisticated or more wealthy people to learn what they know. It is true, because sometimes the more wealthy, they may not teach you, like with Rich Dad Poor Dad in the book, when he talked about he went to the when he went to the store to start working, and for the first few weeks he did not receive. For the first week he didn't get a paycheck or something like of that sort. What it was trying to teach the kid at that time, for the reader or myself, you can be anticipating why would he not pay the kid, but it's just because of the mind concept of what you already know, and thinking, okay, I must receive that paycheck on that very day. So when you're a reader reading that, and 2 weeks or a week passed and the kid didn't get no pay, you automatically start thinking, what is the next move here? What's going on? Is he being unfair? But the situation was, no, I want to change your mind from actually relying on a paycheck. And how can he change his mind to rely on a paycheck? Because even though he was a wealthy guy, he's trying to teach him, okay, you can change your mind depending on a paycheck. And how can I change your mind from depending on a paycheck? Is I can do this while you're this young, so that way you can understand this as you grow along. And how many out of the 100 would be in that mind frame? So go back to saying, where they say maybe only 5% become more wealthy. Go back to say this is 1 out of the 5, or much more like that. And this guy could only extend his teaching to 1 in this period, in this moment. So 5 more like him would extend their knowledge in not the same way, but to few others that out there that they can possible will see the potential of this person or this individual is worth trying, because he must have seen something for him to invest in him, say okay, and not necessarily just seeing something in him, but knowing the quality of the poor dad's kid father. So he would take a chance on it and say, okay, I will teach you this. Now, with this guy, the other 5 out there, like this businessman, this wealth guy, Mike's dad, 5 out there like him will also teach 1 or 4 more kids out there, not in the same way of teaching them that, in that very way of, okay, I'm not gonna pay you for the first 2 weeks because I want to change your concept and your thoughts of of how to think about this. The other four out there might think to show him in a different way, to might have him around doing paperwork instead of paying him, showing him how to create. And so showing him how to create takes away from him trying to consider or think about receiving money, because once you place the kid in a creative mindset, even though it's a business aspect, it distracts him away from even craving the money, because now he's craving the knowledge of building and of creating and innovating. So with Mike's dad trying to teach him how to not to respond for his mind, and him not to respond to money and thinking about that paycheck on that Friday, in that way, welcome. And that's just will be 1%, because if 5% are the lucky out of the 95%, so that would be 1% right there. And then another 1 more percent would be getting teaching in a different way, which one other way that I just put out is the mind exercising of creating and innovating in which and researching. So one other would teach, okay, you can create, and so you be so eager and craving to exercise your imagination and create that the paycheck does not come to you as everyone else. So now from your creativity and the ability that to constantly creating and providing some kind of service, from that it's like your idea automatically find a way to pay you without you actually working in the same direction for a paycheck, but it's a diverted way of achieving and receiving money for being creative. And so that would be 2%, which is mindset is completely different. And then you have the researcher who does researching and then get caught up in, okay, I'm gonna research, I'm gonna navigate, I'm gonna keep going that. So, and once they find their findings, then that percent also mindset is completely different. So now these three categories are not necessarily thinking about or in the mindset of I'm going to receive a paycheck today. Easter started some fireworks. Man, throw that over the back. What are we going to talk about today? Listen, where are we going with 5G? Oh my God. And are we going to push it? And where it's going to be at? And how can we spot it? So our kids can invest in it and they can be well off. How are we going to spot it? And what is it going to be in? I'm curious to see if it's going to be like, no, I'm being good today. I'm seriously being good today. Like really, what is it going to be in? Is it going to be like poles? It's going to be like towers? But it has to be the modem that really pushes it to speed up the fast, because after 4, where else can we go? And then how can we speed it up? And that's going to be the question of the creative mind side, which going to be the one of the 1% that going to automatically receive his money, his paycheck, not like a paycheck on a constant day-to-day Friday paycheck, but that explore. So how will it pushes it, and how will it, and where will it be, and how much will it require? So those numbers are some big numbers that's gonna be requiring like adding up, and the force and the pushes. But we have a ground platform to already start from. There's a ground platform for it to start from already, because it's the same thing as like the modem system that you'd have in your household. So pretty much It's like it's already in place. Bluetooth is already in place, and so that would basically be Bluetooth in a nutshell. But instead of it would be connecting, it would be pushing. I don't know if you follow, but anyway, throw that over the bank. What are we going to get into today? See what else we can get into. Oh, but yeah, and if we really think about it, like, what would your thoughts be about that? And it's already created, it's already existed there. Now it's just to go back and just kind of and it's not going to be such a hard fix too. It's a really easy fix because it's already established, and now just reverse it from connecting it to it's just okay. So it's already in our house, and we connect right here. Now, how can I make this go a bit faster in this aspect? Because that's what it did. It automatically 4 go to 5, re-energize, and now we'll just push it faster. Yes, you're going to be paying more at some point because all that research has to be paid off, and all those people who invest in that has to be paid off. But and all those, it's going to require a lot to require a lot of space, properties, buildings. It's going to require a lot of different stuff. So yes, you're possibly going to push it up. Your price increase going to be higher on communication. So that's why I say to myself is, right now it's at this stage, but it will possibly go to a higher increase once it's established more. And it's just not because everything is seasonal, and look, it's not automotive. Automotive is in the play right now, but it's not automotive. It's like the full automotive is part of the attention at this very minute, but everything goes into play. And then once everything goes into play, sometime it takes small bit of time before everything gets its own push, before everything gets its push. Automobiles get its push, then then the other sectors get their little push, which they get to capitalize on, and which is they get to capitalize, and it's that time, in that midst, they have to throw all their research, they have to throw all their products out there too, that that will make a difference in the company. So what do you think is like, all right, well, 15 years, 5 years from now, how far will the communication be? Communication will start to exist, but how will the price be? How much will be invested in it? And who will capitalize more? And sometimes you don't have to use the shovel, like you said. When the thing is, when they went out west, I think it's west. When they went out west or somewhere, and they were searching for gold or something, and the story says, okay, you don't have to really. There had to be people realize, listen, I don't have the equipment to dig for gold, and I don't have the manpower, but I've got to capitalize on this opportunity. How can you do it? Well, maybe you can get a shovel. Well, I'm pretty sure the guy will start selling the shovel at full control, because now it's so funny that he became such an important piece of the puzzle, because without no shovel, there's no digging, there's no scooping out, So while everyone was thinking about the goal itself, the shovel guy was selling the shovel, really capitalize on that investing. But anyway, throw that over the bank. This is Freshly Designed 360. What are your thoughts? Do you think, and for how much will it, what their prices are right now, will they go up more? Will it sustain right there? And through the communication, and that's just the topic for right now that I'm speculating on. And so would your thoughts be like, okay, it will move up at least $4 or $5 in the next 5 years? Because it's hard to predict such an increase in the company, it's just a speculation possible too, because how many, now that the speed is going to speed up, obviously going to have to pump the price all have to go up, because obviously it's going to require more things than we would normally think about. The norm would think it's going to require aerospace, it's going to require so much different, both land and air, for it to really work properly. So those are all that costs money. So it's all about paying back all that and investing in that too. So once that automatically push off somehow, and that gets really good at, once that pushes off and we go that far, then the returns, and is investment real? Is investing real? What are your thoughts? How long? It's like a family. It's like a friendship. It's like a relationship. But if you can take the money out of it but the money will come and be and I guess that's how the 5% get into it, because it goes back to what Mike's dad was trying to teach the poor dad's son, which is Robert Kowalski, is how to not look for that pay. And it's so funny, but it's so true. But you have to have your mindset in a different place to establish that. You really have to you have to have yourself in a different place. And so when I started this channel, it was like the same aspect of where I was trying to get the family or the core that supported this. Okay, you can be inspired. I can get you to inspire into looking at things in a different way, but it's going to require these steps from you. And I didn't want it to be like some that, even though I don't have the bunch of CDs and a bunch of cassettes and the tapes and the VHS and all, but I wanted it to be something that was real, something that you can understand, and something that was made sense. So a lot of my stuff, I write a lot of it down, but sometimes I already know what I wanted to say to you, because I already know where I'm trying to get your mindset to be at. I am not perfect in any way, and yes, who am I? That question is relevant to ask. So I am you, so I would ask you the same question in return, but throw it over the bank. Throw it over the bank. Anyway, we'll just take a short break. I know, cut it out. Throw it over the bank. Throw it over the bank. I'll get my grandma things jacked up. Anyway, we're gonna go into back to Gail.
Everyone else is doing it. Now let's get back to our definition of success. Who succeeds? The only man who succeeds is the man who is progressively realizing a worthy ideal. He's the man who says, I'm going to become this, and then begins to work toward that goal. I'll tell you who the successful people are. A success is the school teacher who's teaching school because that's what she wanted to do. The success is the woman who's a wife and mother because she wanted to become a wife and mother and is doing a good job of it.
So a wife and mother. So I go back to saying sometimes ladies don't really, nothing else matters to ladies at time is the project that's at home. It's the project at home that lists on the cooler, those kids, the family, And once ladies establish the security of the family and they have a key on that, everything is over. Once they establish, okay, they have the key to the security, and once they've established that and have that key, it's a key that they hold and they will not let go unless they choose to. And in the midst of giving away or losing that key, they know to themselves that, okay, I'm fixing to give this key up of all of this. So, like I said, a lady can drive a car backwards and 4 tires are down with kids in it and not realize that she's doing that. But, because her primary job or primary feelings, not her job, it's beyond job, but her primary intuition or thoughts is basically surrounds the nurturing and caring of her family, because every lady and every woman wants to know that they are the best mother. They want to know they are the best, and despite what else is going on, they have to compete at that PTA meeting, at the teachers meeting, at that, in their primary. And some ladies, besides all of that comes in it, some ladies don't really even focus on that. But do they not focus on that because why? And what are their dreams? And we talk about success in a man's era, and we talk about, like, okay, what we'd like to become and what we will become in that aspect. We talk about all that. But what about what is their dreams also? And do they have that thought in how they go about expressing that feeling that they consider of, okay, this is really what I wanted to be, but I put everything on hold for this. Do they have regret in that time? And how do they capitalize or choose just to make a decision on a choice in that period of what is? But it becomes a pressure without we knowing what is best for them. And it's a pressure of, yes, they want to go with the crowd, but at the same time they have to stay with the security of who they are and what their family is and and what their culture is about. So it goes. But my question would be, my thoughts on that would be, what is their thoughts on it? And I guess it's a choice, and they know to themselves that once they evaluate it, they weigh the way of the family besides the career is a thing that they have to put in their bag and carry, and that would be one of the things in their bags in the secret glove compartment with a zip shut. But I don't know. Throw it over the bank. My name is Izzy, so it's not in the South. Thanks for streaming with me. If you're out there, fireworks. This is Fresh Tea Design 360. However, my main topic around today was based on the abundance of opportunity and 5G and how fast it will go and what will push it, and because after they obviously have to get pushed because it's also be way down. So in the future, who will capitalize on this? In the future, who will be out there that can, and what direction would that go? And would it be $35? Would $20 be $20? How many $20 would you invest for 5 years? And that $20 you just have to, because if the company it's at $17, or if the company's at $18, or if the company's at $50, say it's the company's at $50, how much $50? Say it's that whatever. And you're gonna give $50, and okay, I'm gonna lose $3. I'm gonna lose $3. I'm gonna give $50. I'm gonna lose $3. I'm gonna lose $3 of this. I'm gonna lose $3 of this in the first year. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it right now. Here you go, $50. Or if it's $20, I'm gonna lose $2 out of this $20 for the first year. But I might lose even $10 in the first year. But I'm gonna set it and forget it. You remember how they do rotisserie chicken? And you remember how they do the thing before rotisserie chicken? You set it and forget it. But anyway. are you going to like? How you think this will be? How do you think it will go? You're willing to lose $3 or $20 in the first year, but to see you gain 50%, 100% in the next 5 years. East West Notice on Fireworks by them Styles. Listen, I'll take a break and I will come back right here with you and we can kick it some more. I hope you're having a wonderful day. If you're out there, if you're the mom and you're home, you doing the laundry. If you're at work, don't put your phone between your legs, because we got in trouble for that one. When we started, I was just having a good time with that one, and then it's like, no, we can't. Then the different guys start looked at me. They're like, did he say put his phone? No, but on a serious note, I was just having fun with that one. I was just like, so you could watch me. Anyway, we could listen. Anyway, if you can't blow up, string up. If you got to do laundry, run else, pick up grocery, and you're still tuning with me, thank you. This is Fresh Street Design 360. If you're at work, keep working. We got to make that money. They don't fit to going at it today. And I am so grateful that I'm a part of the team and part of the core. And thanks to everyone out there who supports my channel on this very Tuesday, the 9th. And I don't know where it's raining, but I hope the weather is good wherever you are. And my name is Taz. This is Fresh Tea Design 360. And I'll be back with you. Give me 5 minutes so we can hang out at 11 o'clock. Get in. I'll get back with you in 5 minutes. Thanks.